Some houses don't hurt people. They just enforce conditions. This story isn't about a haunted place or a curse or a presence that wants attention. It's about a house that only required one thing to be ignored, and what happened the moment it was. Keep the lights low, keep the sound on, and don't assume silence ever means safety. He was only allowed to use one room at night. The rules were explained once and then never discussed again. After Aaron's father took a job that required overnight travel, the arrangements changed. The work wasn't local. When he left, he was gone for days at a time. Long drives, cheap hotels, no chance of coming home early. During those weeks, Aaron stayed in the house alone after dark. Not because his father thought it was safe, because there wasn't another option that kept the house quiet. Aaron was 12 years old enough to heat food, old enough to answer his phone, old enough to follow instructions exactly. Dinner was stacked neatly in the refrigerator, labeled with dates. The television worked, though the remote lagged if you pressed too quickly. His phone stayed charging on the kitchen counter, screen facing up, so it could be seen from the couch. There was only one condition. After dark, Aaron was not allowed to leave the living room. His father didn't say it like a warning. He said it the way someone explains the operating limits of equipment. Flat, practiced, already tested. Living room only, he said. Lights on, TV on, bathroom, before I go. Aaron nodded. He waited until his father reached the door before asking, "Why?" His father stopped with his hand on the knob. He didn't turn around right away. When he did, his eyes didn't go to Aaron. They went past him, toward the hallway that led away from the living room. At night, he said, the house does what it wants. That was all. The door closed, the lock turned, the house settled. At first, the rule didn't feel like much of a rule. The living room was the largest space in the house. The couch sagged in the middle, molded by years of use. The ceiling light and two standing lamps washed the room evenly, stopping cleanly at the mouth of the hallway. The boundary was sharp. It didn't fade, it ended. During the day, the hallway was ordinary. Beige walls, framed photos, an arrow runner rug leading past the bathroom and toward the bedrooms. A wall clock mounted just before the bend chimed every hour. A thin metallic sound that echoed faintly. At night, it didn't chime at all. Aaron noticed on the third evening. He had been watching television long enough to forget he was alone when he realized the hour had passed without the sound. The clock's hands had moved. He leaned forward to check. No chime. He muted the television. The silence landed hard, like something being placed on the room. Aaron waited. Nothing happened. He unmuted the TV and leaned back, telling himself it was just an old clock that old houses skip sometimes. A few minutes later, during a scene change when the audio dipped naturally, he heard something else. It wasn't footsteps. It wasn't breathing. It sounded like something heavy adjusting its position. Wood scraping softly. Weight shifting with care. A sound that suggested mass without revealing shape. It came from beyond the hallway bend, where the light stopped. Aaron froze. The sound didn't continue. It didn't retreat. It simply ended. When the dialogue resumed, the house went quiet again. The next time it happened, Aaron was ready. The volume dipped. The sound returned. Aaron raised the volume. The sound stopped immediately. That pattern held. If the television stayed loud enough, nothing happened. If the audio dropped, even briefly, the sound from the hallway returned after a short delay, as if something were confirming the condition before responding. By the fourth night, Aaron stopped watching the show. He watched the volume indicator instead. Commercials were the worst. Audio levels shifted unpredictably. Dialogue cutting out, music lagging behind. Aaron learned to ride the volume button through every break, nudging it higher before the sound could settle. Once, he was too slow. The sound came back heavier than before. The vibration traveled through the couch and into his spine, locking his shoulders in place. Aaron turned the volume up. The sound stopped. After that, he understood. The television wasn't entertainment. The light wasn't comfort. They were restraints. Aaron followed the rule perfectly. He stopped leaning forward. He stopped glancing into the hallway. He went to the bathroom early and drank less water afterward. He slept on the couch with the TV playing all night, volume steady, lights blazing. The house responded. The sound stayed distant until the fifth night. The power flickered once. The living room lights dimmed and returned. The television shut off and began to reboot, the screen black and humming. In the brief quiet, something shifted. Closer. Not from the far end of the hallway, from just beyond the edge of the light. Aaron didn't move. His body pressed deeper into the couch, as if weight had been applied from above. His phone glowed briefly behind him, then went dark again. The television came back on. The sound stopped. After that night, the living room began to shrink. The light didn't reach as far as it had before. The boundary shortened by inches, then feet. One framed photo near the hallway stayed half-lit at night, its glass reflecting something that wasn't in the room. The carpet closest to the living room darkened, flattened, as if something heavy had stood there repeatedly. Aaron started sleeping, curled inward, reducing his shape. On the seventh night, his fingers slipped. The remote slid from his hand and struck the floor face down. The television went silent. The sound from the hallway came back instantly. No testing now, no hesitation. The floorboards vibrated as something shifted its full weight forward. Aaron lunged for the remote. Before his fingers touched it, the living room light flickered, then went out. Not the television, just the light. The room collapsed inward. The television's glow smeared across the darkness, no longer defining where the walls were. The air thickened. Aaron tried to pull his legs back onto the couch and couldn't. Something pressed against him. Not grabbed, pressed. The couch frame groaned as weight bore down on it. Aaron felt his knees forced together, and then inward, then higher. His joints bending in directions they weren't meant to. His ribs compressed. Breath left him in short, involuntary bursts. He raised his arms instinctively. The bones in his forearms creaked as pressure increased. Whatever was on him adjusted, redistributing its weight with care. There was no pain at first, just pressure. Then something shifted again. He felt something give inside him, a wet, internal snap. His vision filled with static. The couch legs lifted slightly off the floor. Aaron tried to scream. Nothing came out. The television volume rose on its own, low, steady. The pressure eased. The living room light came back on. The couch settled. Aaron was gone. His father came home the next morning. The television was still on. The volume hadn't changed. The lights were on. Aaron wasn't on the couch. For a moment, his father didn't move. He scanned the room the way you do when something is wrong but hasn't declared itself yet. "Aaron," he said. Then louder. He crossed the room quickly and stopped short when he saw the remote on the floor. "No," he said. His hands shook as he picked it up and turned it over. The television responded immediately. He took a step toward the hallway, then stopped at the edge of the light. His breathing broke, sharp, uneven. His fists clenched and unclenched. He said Aaron's name again, quieter this time, like saying it too loudly might make things worse. He didn't cross the boundary. He sank onto the couch instead, feet planted firmly in the light, head in his hands. He stayed there until the sun came up. After that, the house was never left alone at night again. The television stayed on whether anyone watched it or not. The lights were replaced early. The volume was checked obsessively. Aaron's name was never spoken inside the house. And if the house ever went quiet, it was fixed immediately. Because whatever happened in that room happened fast. And it turned a child into something the room could finally close around. On the bright side, at least the house didn't make a mess. It never does. Yours, though, it may be a little too dark, a little too quiet. You might want to fix that. Until then, come find me in this next story.